A shocking murder on a North Carolina train has reignited America's political battle over crime and public safety. And now U.S. President Donald Trump is seizing on the case to go after Democrats. Daniela Paulite has more.
U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday addressed the murder of Ukrainian refugee Iryna Zarutska, who was stabbed to death on a North Carolina train. The suspect was identified as DeCarlos Brown Jr., 34 years old, and was already arrested multiple times. Trump blamed Democrats for policies that he said allow violent repeat offenders to prey on innocent Americans. Speaking at an event in Washington, Trump said crime-ridden cities across the United States are under Democratic leadership and accused them of adopting catch-and-release approach that puts the public at risk.
For far too long, Americans have been forced to put up with Democrat-run cities that set loose savage, bloodthirsty criminals to prey on innocent people, really very, very innocent people. In every place, they control radical left judges, politicians, and activists, and they've adopted a policy of catch and release for thugs and killers.
Trump framed Zarutska's killing as an example of what he called the failures of democratic governance. He described her alleged attacker, 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown Jr., as a deranged monster who had been arrested 14 times before but was free to strike again.
She was slaughtered by a deranged monster who was roaming free after 14 prior arrests. We cannot allow a depraved criminal element of violent repeat offenders to continue spreading destruction and death throughout our country. We have to respond with force and strength. We have to be vicious just like they are.
The president's remarks came just days after Charlotte authorities released surveillance footage of the August 22 attack. The video taken aboard the Lynx Blue Line light rail showed Zarutska sitting in her uniform and scrolling on her phone before Brown suddenly stabbed her multiple times, including in the neck. Officials said the victim and suspect had no prior connection and described the assault as a random act of violence. Brown was arrested shortly after the incident and charged with first-degree murder. He was first hospitalized and then taken into police custody. Her murder triggered fresh concerns about violence on Charlotte's transit system. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt echoed his sentiments, describing Brown as a savage career criminal and that Zarutska's death was preventable.
This is pure evil on full display. The most enraging and unacceptable part of this story is that her death was entirely preventable. DeCarlos Brown never should have been on that train that night. In fact, he should have been behind bars. DeCarlos Brown has been charged with crimes no fewer than 14 times, dating back to 2011, including for armed robbery, felony larceny, breaking and entering, and shoplifting. Brown had previously served 5 years in prison for a robbery with a deadly weapon charge, and he had also forfeited bonds 3 different times, twice in 2014 and once in 2023. Despite all of this past documented criminal history, when Brown was arrested yet again in January of this past year, a Democrat judge, who I will add was a strong supporter of former Vice President Kamala Harris, released this insane criminal once again without requiring him to pay any bail.
As Trump put it, the murder underscored what he sees as a crisis in America's cities.
We'll do what has to be done because we're going to make America safe again, and that includes our big cities. We're going to make those cities safe.
Reporting for Newsline World, Daniela Paulite, Azam News.